Alrighty, as promised, here's example 4. This one I'm going to kind of take the shortcut for it. Looking at this, to go from 2 to the 0, we have to go 1, 2, 3, 4 steps again. And we're going down by 2 overall. So the common difference, going down by 2 over 4, we're going down negative 1/2 every time. So to go from 2 down to the next one, we're going to subtract a half. So we're at 1.5, subtract a half, we're at 1, subtract another half, we're at 0.5, subtract another half, we're at 0. Now, that's great when you have the first and last terms of whatever, or of, well, some last term of a sequence. It's not as easy if you're kind of like talking about the middle of a sequence. For this one, we're asked to find the fifth term of the arithmetic sequence with a being equal to, or sorry, a sub 8 equal to 85 and a sub 14 equal to 157. Now the equation that we used earlier, we used this on examples 2 and 3. We used a sub n equals a sub 1 plus n minus 1 times our common difference d. Now for the previous two examples, we used this in example 3, where we were able to use the terms that we had to figure out our common difference d. However, we don't have the first term here. We don't have this piece right here. Now, what we can do instead is kind of work and kind of manipulate this to be whatever we want it to be. Instead of a sub 1, I'm going to change it to a sub 8. We're going to take the first term that we do have. Now, in this sequence, again, we're kind of like starting in the middle. The first term that we do have is the 8th term. And so I'm going to change a sub 1 to a sub 8. Now, continuing the rest of this equation. So we got plus n minus. Now, because we're not subtracting or not using the first term, we changed that 1 to an 8. We're going to change this 1 to an 8 as well. Now we also have the last term that we do have is the 14th term. So let's change this to a sub 14 equals a sub 8 plus 14, we just replaced the n with 14, minus 8 times the thing we don't know, our common difference of d. Cleaning this up a little bit, and hopefully this will become a little more clear, especially why we changed that 1 to an 8. We got a sub 14 equals a sub 8 plus 14 minus 8 is 6 times d. The significance of that 6, thinking back to the previous couple examples, that's like the number of steps going from one term to the next. It takes 6 steps for us to go from the 8th term to the 14th term. That's where that 6 is coming from. So cleaning up, plugging in the rest of what we know here, we got, 157 equals 85 plus 6 times d. Let me zoom out a little bit because I was starting to run out of room. Going through, let's subtract 85 from both sides. We end up with 72 equals 6 times d. To solve for the common difference d, we got to divide both sides by 6, and we end up with a common difference of 12. Now that's great, but we still need to find the 5th term. We weren't just asked to find the term, like any terms in between it, because now I can go like, okay, going from the 8th term, I can just add 12 to the 9th term, add 12 to the 10th term. What we can do is kind of restart and reuse that equation that we were working with here. The modified one, a sub n equals a sub 8 plus n minus 8 times our common difference d. And we'll plug in what we know now. Now, we're asked to find the 5th term, so we're going to plug in n equals 5. Our 8th term, a sub 8, is still 85. And now we know our common difference is 12. So plugging in all that in, we got a sub 5 equals 8th term is 85, plus we have 5 as our n value minus 8 times 12. Cleaning this up a little bit, we got a sub 5 equals 85 plus, oops, sorry, that was bad looking 5. Let's try it again. Plus 5 minus 8 is negative 3 times 12. I'm going to pause here and just kind of, just like I was paying attention to the 6 earlier, This -3, the significance of that is, well, if we're going from if we know the 8th term, we need to go to the 5th term, we got to go 3 steps back. Really what you could have done here, and to be a little more casual, you could have just subtracted 12 3 times to get back to our 5th term. But I kind of wanted to show you how this equation works a little bit better. Let's keep cleaning this up though. We got a sub 5 equals 85 plus, man, my 5s are bad right now, plus 3 times -12 is -36. So we got a sub 5, 85 minus 36 is 49. And our 5th term is 49. We could have also done that whole process by replacing this with the 14th term, and we could have just changed everything around with that. It would have worked just as well.